Spud, I'm going backwards, and I'm going to reduce the production value of everything I do.
I think it's the way to go, Tommie. Minimalism, you know? No,
It's a number of reasons, because when I was doing the videos during the lockdown, I was just literally putting the camera on and then press record and uploading. No music, no bullshit, whatever. It was great. So I got a copyright strike on on my channel. And it was interesting because normally that would send me spiraling into panic and go, oh, everything's falling apart. I just went, oh, jeez, I don't care. I really don't care.
Okay, it's fine.
Whatever. So I emailed. What happened basically was I was telling you, but I'll tell the gentle listeners out there that I bought music or had a subscription to like a YouTube music service, because basically you have to pay for the music on YouTube and podcasts and all that. The thing was that you could anything you downloaded in that year you could use forever because your YouTube channel was whitelisted. You know, you just couldn't use any of the new music. But they obviously changed that at some point, and it's that you have to have an active subscription. So.
Did you not read the terms and conditions?
Well, I didn't read the term and conditions a year and a half after I left the service. You know, how would I even have seen them? You know what I mean? Like, how would I have seen them? I did, because I was looking at the terms and conditions and I seen them updated. I did try to, Wayback Machine to get it back to where it was, sort of thing. But anyway, it turns out they were lovely. They're dead on anyway. What happens is that YouTube have changed something, the way they've done it. So now that if you are whitelisted, you can only be whitelisted for so long, and then you have to whitelist it and have an active subscription. So what he says what you could do is you can just, every time you get a claim, just email me, which is going to annoy both of us. You know?
That's annoying.
So what you do is just join for a month and re-whitelist, and that'll do you for ages, and have to again, and you can join for a month and you get 7 days free. So I mean, it doesn't cost you anything. I'll join for a month.
So if you join for a month, then you'd be whitelisted for like 12 more months then, wouldn't you?
No, whitelisted up to the day you cancel your subscription.
Jesus.
No, which is fine.
You know what you do, Tommie? You know what you do?
Just once you don't use any new music, you're grand.
You know what you do? I used to use Looperman, looperman.com. You go into Looperman, set up an account. It's all royalty-free music made by nerds who give away their music for free.
Yeah, but I mean, I've a ton of my own music I could use.
Yeah, well, yeah, you can use that. I come here. I got copyright strikes as well years ago for the old when I started the comedy cast. Remember, I had a kind of jazzy kind of intro.
Oh right, yeah, I do, yeah.
It was like a saxophone. Yeah, it was cool. And I got done on loads of copyright things. Sorry, someone's messaging me. And I'm so popular. Oh man, my new work has a Slack channel and it's driving me crazy. I hate these Slacks in Discord. Discord's, well, I mean, your Discord is fine because it's not a work thing, but like any Slack and work Discord thing is a nightmare because it means you're all reachable, you know. It's just fucking terrible. At least with a WhatsApp thing, you can see it and it doesn't show that you've seen it and it's fine. But Slack, you just it's horrible.
You can look through your settings because you can change things to make it a bit more like you can switch it off. So.
No, I know you can switch to the little green icon off, but you're still always gettable with Slack. Whereas with WhatsApp, I think is a bit different.
No, in Slack you can say I am not working, and you won't. The messages can't be sent to you. So,
really?
Yeah, it's out of office, whatever. Yeah. Because our mutual friend Abin, he does that all the time. At 6 o'clock, he gets no notifications at all.
So that must do that. I only have a with him for 25 hours a week anyway, so like I don't have to be.
And it tells if I would try to send you a message, it would go Spud's not working anymore. So you can be a dick and continue to send this message, or you can wait. I'm a dick.
Come here, what was it? Yeah, your man. So the jazz intro, and I found it off Looperman as well. The guy who had made this, because it wasn't real saxophone, it was just from a synthesizer. And this, what do you call it? It was a record company in South Africa, and they were taking down all my video. And I've never monetized that. I don't have enough fucking subscribers or watch time or anything like that. But it was just like, what the fuck? Like, you know, because I've been so close to the 1,000 for years or whatever. But and I went mad at these lads and I sent them this email and says, no, I have found this sample on this website. This is the original sample, da 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 da. And then they wrote back to me, oh, so that's where our guy took the sample from. Yeah, that's where your guy took the fucking sample from, you scumbags. Fucking arsehole, so they were. Anyway, they at least they did take down all the copyright strikes. But yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? That you pay for something and then change things. I suppose when you click on
at
the
a game
terms
like,
of
did you ever
service.
play I was going to say Andrew Wake. It's not Alan Wake. Andrew Wake is a different game, obviously. Did you ever play Alan Wake? That game. It's a horror game.
I know the game. No, with the bullet time thing. I know it. I never played it. No.
Yeah, and I think some of the Grand Theft Autos as well. They obviously had music licenses, and then because they weren't expecting the game to still be sold in 10 years, whatever it is, and they had to take the game off Steam and all that because the music license ran out.
Ah, you're joking. In that?
Yeah.
Huh?
I mean, and it's obviously better to do that than just swap in, some sort of other music, whatever. Or it was just a good reason to, come out with a remastered or something. But yeah, it's not just what I hate about it. What I hate is the kind of the idea that the copyright claim. Like the first time it happened to me, because they're all popping in there, so they obviously found the channel and they're just going ping, 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 ping. But I should be whitelisted now. But the first one was 6 seconds I used, just the intro. Sometimes at the beginning I show some lovely countryside of Ireland and a bit of music in the background. But they'd now get the entire video for the music using that. That's
nonsense, isn't it? Yeah. Remember Rick Beato had a video. Rick Beato had a video.
I know, I should watch that. To the real angry Rick Beato. You see Rick Beato this morning on Instagram with his huge beard from a couple of years ago.
yeah. What a
20 years
legend,
ago.
Huh?
Huge. Like, I'd
in
say
his what do you call it? Yusuf Islam period. What's
yeah,
it?
I'd say there's a serious autobiography going to come out of Rick Beato at some point. It'll be the music biography.
Do you know what I love about him is that there's a real hero's journey there to his life and how he's gotten to where he is, because he had the first bite of the cherry with the band and he thought they were getting somewhere and it didn't work, and then he got into production and it kind of worked and then it didn't work, and then it was getting more
and then he got
successful.
the number one and then the band split up.
Yeah. So he's just had all this kind of bad luck along the way to reach the kind of goal, but finding then his way into YouTube and people loving his breakdowns. I love his channel. It's absolutely fascinating. Great. He's such a fucking lovely person.
That he's probably making 4 cents off it, because it's with all the takedowns and all. Like his most popular videos, other people now own, and it's tough. Like, 'cause he's considerable subscription thing, whatever. He's just he probably has 1 million or something. I know, whatever he has, he's a lot anyway.
A lot, yeah.
So, say if you were to buy music, so I have 6,500 subscribers, whatever, which is fine for what I'm doing, and it's 22 quid a month to pay for music. If you were going to use, say, the intro that we were using in the podcast from now on.
Yeah.
And I was just checking over the last couple of months, whatever, just to see, just to work it out. And on average, I make €28 a month on YouTube. So I mean, 6 quid, it's thing. And I'm not complaining. But what I am doing then out of it is what I'm taking it as two good things. Look at Tommie seeing the positive side of things. What's going on with him? One, isn't it much better that this happened before, say, my channel all of a sudden became 10 million, and then someone, Keyframe took all my. If it was an income that I was actually depending on, wouldn't that be a disaster? It's not, so who cares? And also, it's a good excuse now to just take all the monetization off the podcast and all the things, because it's obvious it's not making money, and I think
you're just gonna have to start using your own music, man. Just make up some little jingles. Do I even just strum a D minor, just go.
I know, but I mean, I have loads, and the last couple of months I've been using my own music anyway. So it's only a period of, it's actually the beginning of the year until the lockdown, and then a couple of videos after the first lockdown is the issue. So it's not that a tremendous amount of videos, but it's just I don't know. It's just, you can claim my music if you want, and I can't. I would have to take you to court to say So it's still an extra level of hassle. If you just take all that out and don't do it, it doesn't matter.
Just take it out before.
But I think having no ads on the podcast is a better idea anyway, because if you ever try to listen to the podcast on YouTube without an ad blocker, it's a nightmare. I wouldn't listen. I mean, I just wouldn't. So there's no point in trying to task other people to do it. It's just
The fuckers as well, because like I've ad blockers on everything, and you still get the 2 ads at the start. It's usually milk ads or yogurt ads here in Poland for some reason.
Right.
I don't, but yeah, it's.
I don't get any ads
nice.
on the PC, but I get them on the telly. And the wee man, when he's be watching my phone, some of the ads he gets is ridiculous. Like the ads that be on Paw Patrol videos or stuff like it's so bad because the very first video is always the most enticing. When the coming up next, and they're always an ad. So he's constantly clicking on the ad and getting pissed off that he's not getting his Paw Patrol video that he's looking for. He has it. You can see it.
Who's his favorite Paw Patrol pup?
He loves Marshall all the way.
Marshall, that's interesting.
Why?
I mean, it's obviously a life of fascism is predicted for him, then, isn't it? Oh no, sorry, that's Chase. Isn't Chase? Chase is the goody cop, isn't it? Marshall's the clumsy firefighter, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, you see, because it's the firefighter and all that. So there's that.
Right. Very good. Yeah. Mickey, if you ask my young lad like his favorite, he just names all of them because he can't pick. He's just like, no, Chase, no, Rocky, no, Rubble, no,
Sky.
Marshall, no, Sky, no, not Sky. No one likes Sky. Jesus,
no,
Sky is token.
My wee man's a wee player. Like when he was watching in the Night Garden, he was mad into Upsy Daisy. And
that's trippy shit, man. In the Night Garden, trippy shit, isn't it?
It's brilliant. They're definitely all dead. The opening scene of In the Night Garden is what's his name, Iggle Piggle dying of starvation and dehydration on a boat, and then going into the underworld where he's met by, those the gods that are just in the background. Oh, it's insane, that program.
Written by fucking Peter Kingsley under a pen name, man. That's what it is.
We should tell people why the quality's probably not great in this one, apart from Tommie's reaction to just going anti-production values. You're in. You have. Basically gone in magical retirement to the country.
If you want 2 minutes, lads, go to look up a village called Terka, Terka, on Wikipedia. It has a population of 190, and we have increased that by 4 by being here. It's and you'll read about the horrible thing that happened here just after World War II as well. It's a gorgeous part of the world. It's in Podkarpatia is the region, so it means under the Carpathian Mountains, I think, in English. So like they're the big ones in Ukraine, but these are the foothills beside. It's gorgeous. It's a bit like Wicklow, if you know Ireland, except higher hills and mountains. The other night I was out walking the dog. Was I telling you? No, I'm telling you. And I heard this kind of going up in the hills behind me, and I was like, it sounds like a couple of foxes. I came home and Googled it. No, wolves. I
was watching West Wing again. It's my comfort TV. I try to watch it every couple of years. And the episode last night was talking about wolves and human deaths. And more people are killed by, according to West Wing from 20 years ago, are killed by vending machines than wolves. So.
Oh yeah, sure. Look, I think the most dangerous wild animal, is
the human.
I think it's a stag or a deer. I think more people are killed by deer every year than horses and stuff because people fall off. Like aren't horses more lethal than ecstasy? Did you remember when that happened?
Right.
More people die from horse riding than from taking ecstasy every year. And imagine taking ecstasy on a horse. That'd be fucked up. Not gonna do that. Yeah, the wolves. I think one of my mates here works in the national park, one of the national parks, and he was saying the last recorded wolf attack on a person is well over 100 years ago here. They just stay away from people. They just take one look at us and like, fuck that. them shower bastards. No, they ain't going near that. Like, doesn't really.
Not touching that cultural drama.
Oh my God! Look, it's a man. There's a woman. Oh, I just assumed his gender. I'm getting out of here.
Grant Morrison has come out as a non-binary genderqueer, as a they and a them.
What the fuck does that mean?
Well, I'm not even going to, because I don't know. But it's not surprising.
Does it mean does he keep his penis?
I assume so. I didn't look too much into it, but it's unsurprising. Like given and the amount of what's flux that goes on in that as well. Like, and like all those photos from years ago of him dressing up. You see, he spent a whole year dressing as a woman. So I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, but he went out. I think it was a kind of well, he posed it as a kind of an adverse reaction to becoming famous, so that he went out, as not necessarily wouldn't be recognised, but just as the opposite of what you would.
Well, man, when you're a comic book writer, nobody's going to fucking recognise you anyway.
Yeah, well, I that's what I'm saying. So I don't think it wasn't to do with the recognising. It was kind of him having an art project against the world. But
I always fancied him and Frankie Boyle hooking up. I thought that was on the cards there for a while.
As in, well, he's on the podcast. They did a podcast together, don't they? At some point, that seems very familiar.
Oh, they were doing stuff together, yeah. But I was like, I wonder, is there more going on there?
I should have probably lived 20 minutes away from each other or something, being they're both in Scotland. Is Frankie Boyle still in Scotland? Probably isn't. It's probably in California or something.
I have no idea. No, he's not in America. He's not. Maybe. I don't know, to be honest. I used to know all this stuff. I have no idea now. I used to know that. Alan Watts, yeah? You were talking about Alan earlier. So what's a good book to start with him?
Audio lectures is a better place to start with him than his books, because you don't get his salty dogness so much from his books as you do from his audios. He has some good. His biography is probably a good one, in my own way, I think it's called. But the very first one I read of his, should be just here if I can find it. And I read it for, The Way of Zen. It's the very first one, and I read it when I was like about 18 or 19. And I read it all in one go and had one of those kind of epiphany moments after where my mind was blown and all those things. But proper kind of, he has a number of books, and there seems to be an ever-growing number of books coming out about him, given that he died 40 years ago. It's an interesting one. The Taboo on Knowing Who You Are is also a good one. But yeah, I would say start with his audiobooks. There is a great documentary about him that I could share with you, and that was done a couple of years ago, and it's kind of his history. It's interspersed though with kind of like good animation stuff. It's done well. Like it's there isn't an awful lot of footage of him, and there's only a handful of photos. Well, there's a lot of footage of him from 1959, 60 when he was doing the TV show. A lot of audio stuff. And then he did the other TV show as well. But they're hard to get unless you want to pay a subscription to Gaia. And even if you do, you have to be in the United States or have a VPN to see them. So, but they're worth the hassle. The older ones, most of them are on YouTube anyway. But it's before he looks like the mad Rasputin monk, though. He's quite hair and wearing a suit and stuff. But and he has,
he's a cool fucker. He's very funny, isn't he?
Yeah, really funny.
He's really funny, really funny in the lectures. I really like him, and he's a great way of just taking a big idea and just collapsing it in a house of cards type of thing, and just like, nah, look, that's all. Wow, this is what it is. There you go. I was like, wow, well done, man. And he's not highfalutin about the thing. It's just like anyone can do this. Anyone. Yeah. Fine. Just clear your head. You'll be fine. You can do it. Yeah, I like him. He's a good lad. I think he was good crack.
Mind series is good as well. Yeah, he died because he was an alcoholic. That's essentially like.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. You nearly had an awful smoker's cough.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And he had like 2 families and stuff like that, so he's like a total boyo. Like there was no question of him being like any sort of Puritan.
All these fellas
or a moral leader of any description. He lived on a houseboat in San Francisco. So I mean, come on, in the 60s and
70s. What's with all these lads? Like there isn't a single good person morally among them. Carl Jung bringing his mistress to meet his wife every Sunday for dinner. A different one.
Yeah, but I mean, that's I suppose with the Carl Jung, not getting into the Carl Jung is a racist element, which there's if you want to Google a PDF about that, I'll explain that. But the thing about the polyamory is probably a moralistic judgment on our part rather than a failing of his character. Because I mean, polyamory, whatever, polygamy it's just another approach. Like Alan Moore had, his wife and his girlfriend living with him for years, so
how could you fancy Alan Moore? How could you go to bed with Alan Moore?
Well, I mean, his current wife doesn't even live with him, so that says a lot. Although, could you live with Alan Moore, considering the story of the moth that was in his beard for a month or something like that? That Steve Moore saw flying out of.
Shagging. What's the ent in fucking Lord of the Rings? Treebeard, big shagging Treebeard. Yeah. Just this crusty old man with a big beard and animals.
Yeah,
God, imagine being
genius,
on top
but
of that.
I can't imagine. I could say his house would be like fit in perfectly in one, one of those TV shows like Hoarders or something like that. I'd say there's a distinct aroma from. I'd say it smells of grass. In fairness, actually, but
yeah, weed and like dead, decaying snake skin everywhere. I bet he has snakes. Did you have snakes?
Well, he's the snake god, isn't it? So I mean.
Oh well, then okay, obviously. Well, yeah, sure. He what they call it? Does it once a month? Then every moon, like a menstruating woman. I have no idea what I'm talking about. We had a snake years ago. One of the lads I lived with, the snake got out, and we had to leave the house because we were all moving away, and we had no idea what happened to the snake. But apparently, we went into the vet, and not the vet, the person who sells lizards. What's that called? Pet shop owner. And he's like, "Yeah, look, that happened. The lizard man. I am the lizard king." And look, that's normal, that type of snake. He'll show up after the winter. We're like, yeah, we don't live there anymore. And he went, tell your landlord. Or not.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is an interesting question, a dilemma that I do kind of have because it's so prevalent in I was going to say in occults, but it's so prevalent in music as well, and all of these kind of things. It's that whole idea of people and their flawed little ways.
Just as you say that, do you know that? I don't know if you're a big fan of Aerosmith. I wasn't, but like, do you know his thing about the abortion and the girl and the thing?
There's Steven Tyler.
Oh my God!
Oh, I don't know anything about it. Yeah.
He had
it's like it's a rock star from the 70s. Of course, there's going to be some bad stories.
So yeah. He had a thing like David Bowie where he had this underage girlfriend, and he ended up adopting her so that he could bring her on tour with him legally. Yeah.
Adopting the baby or adopting his girlfriend?
No, adopting his girlfriend because she was underage. He was able to adopt her, and he had like legal ownership of her kind of then. And he brought her on tour with her, and he was shagging her fucking left, right, and center the whole time. She got pregnant. He made her have an abortion. She felt awful about having this abortion, but she had to have it because of him and his power and wealth and yada yada yada. And then a few years later, then he comes out as an anti-choice. Not pro-abortion. The opposite of pro-abortion is what? Pro-life. Comes out as pro-life, and this gets found out about him, and he's like, no, that was her choice, and there was something wrong with yeah. And it's like, oh my God, you're a scumbag. You're a fucking scumbag. The whole David Bowie thing, I didn't know about that until you told me, and then I looked it up, and it's like, wow, holy shit, that's fucked up. Bad stuff.
Yeah, you have the same, Jimmy Page to all of them, I suppose, if you look into them. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, and I don't think the answer is, that was just what everyone was doing at the time. I don't think that's good enough. But it's also
no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough.
But it's like blaming the zeitgeist is it's all too easy to do. But I fall into bad habits if literally everyone around you is doing them.
Yeah.
But that's still not an excuse. It's like
look, we've spoken about it loads of times, and like I still have awful trouble with Crowley in particular. I've awful trouble with because I know a lot of the bad stuff that he did,
Yeah.
But even for example, we spoke with this before. Rudolf Steiner. I really like Steiner. I like almost everything that he did, except his thing that he has this idea that first you're incarnated as Africans, then you live a good life, and then you're promoted to Asians, and then the white man is like, whoa, dude, can't be having that,
Yeah, and I mean the young stuff is somewhat similar to that. It's probably not quite as on the button as that, or as delineated as that possibly is. I kind of halfway through that PDF, but I can't read this anymore, or I'll never read Carl Jung again. But it's just the thing that kind of struck me with the Carl Jung one thing, which is basically he was saying, for those who don't know, I may put the PDF in the show description. I may totally forget it. I'd likely forget it. But if you Google Carl Jung racist PDF, you'll find it. And it's from a legitimate It's not just some dude, it's from a magazine, it's from a research of some sort of.
It's Carl Jung is a racist.blogspot.com, yeah?
Geocities.com.
Yeah.
Yahoo Groups. Yahoo Groups are gone. And it's like, oh well, has anyone...
I don't even know what that is. Like, you're such an internet nerd. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, but it was just kind of right, if Carl Jung, also this is all from my perspective, and I'm sure my view is equally warped in many different ways, and how would I know? It's just because that's the pendulum I'm in, and it just seems right. So, but from that point of view, that if you can get things that I feel racism wrong, I mean, I may be wrong, racism might be perfect, I don't know, but from my point of view, it seems like, an abhorrent thing. That's just it. So if he gets that wrong, how much what should we put into how much words, how much validity then should you give us other stuff?
That's the thing. It's like, I mean, you've watched more than I have. I only watched one episode of it, and it's that Freud thing the German thing on Netflix.
Yeah.
And there's an interesting scene at the start of it where he's making a presentation to a lecture, and he's trying to explain to these people that there's this thing called the subconscious, and we're not just mechanical kind of animals that A leads to B leads to C leads to D. Like there's other stuff working away in the background, And it just kind of struck me that, like, okay, so Freud and Carl Jung made so many leaps and bounds in psychology, but the thing is that like when he was making that presentation to the guys in this lecture, these were like the top dogs in psychology at the time. And so what if they're wrong? What if Freud and Jung, right? I'm not saying they are, but what if they're wrong, and that like in say 50 years or in 100 years time, something's going to come out and completely do a 180 on this and say, no, lads, it's actually not your subconscious. It's this other thing that we should have seen by now. And so like just everyone that's been spending their time fucking sucking Carl Jung's dick by reading the fucking Red Book and the Black Book and all these nonsense fucking mad books, it's like, it's going to be such a waste of time for them. Because I mean,
I don't think it is, because all of human history has been, well, apart from the bits that we've smashed and burnt, and all that. But it's all like say Newton, right? Like his theories about the world, the universe, and all that kind of thing, worked to the point until they didn't, and then Einstein came in. Well, actually, true, So, but it's like it's the not exactly the standing on shoulders of giants, but it's that it didn't make Newton's contribution to science worthless. That he got some of it wrong, or most of it wrong. In fact, like it works on things close together, isn't it? Or sort of small things doesn't work.
Yeah.
Or the opposite.
The thing is as well with say Jung, like Jung is so popular with the occult people because of this idea of the shadow and the anima and the animus and all this kind of stuff. So it's kind of stuff that's all inner that we can supposedly work on. But like in psychology,
not at all. Yeah, you can't if you to become a Jungian or depth psychologist is purely the certificate or whatever you get, the diploma, or whatever is given.
Yeah,
it's no governing. Like it's not. You can't go to Trinity College and become a young depth psychologist. You can a Freudian, I think, though. But I know definitely the Jung is kind of a pat on the back from other Jungians.
Because
it's totally, for the most part, discounted, isn't he? Like completely, like just.
It's not. I don't think that it's discounted. It's just that I think he's kind of seen as that. Okay, he went a bit too far into the woo stuff rather than just that, because it's like, oh Jesus, who was I watching? Someone had a video about Jordan Peterson a while ago, and they're just like, look, like he's a practicing psychologist, so his thing is to try and make you a better, happier pig in a cage Radiohead song. Productive member of society. So it's cognitive behavioral therapy, but he has this thing for Jung that he tries to use in his sessions or lectures or whatever. But Jung is just kind of seen he just went a bit too far into it, but he's seen as someone, like these forefathers of modern psychology. But it's all cognitive behavioral therapy now, which is to make you a better, fitter, better, happier pig in the cage on antibiotics, selling Gucci bags. Which is fine. I mean, I went through therapy and I went in miserable as fuck, and I came out just going, oh yeah, now I know why. and it was a lot better for it. But I'd still like to do depth psychology. But it's just like, I'm not spending €100 a fucking hour. I'm living in Poland. Like, that's nearly a mortgage.
The good thing about the depth psychology is that have part of their oath or whatever it is that you are allowed barter with the therapist. Like, and it's that the therapist can't, within reason, turn someone away because of a financial thing, which I think is nice. But I think most decent people are like that.
I wonder how many carved wooden sigils would a depth psychologist like Murphy.
Yeah. I'm just burning them at this point, Spud. Keep me warm during the winter. No problem. Anyway, my dad.
Fine, I know.
Had to stream about my dad. Peter Kingsley doesn't rate the Jungian stuff at all. No, like, he's huge into Jung, obviously. Like, he thinks he's thing, but he thinks that it's, and so did Jung, in fairness to him. He thinks no one understands him, and like Jung also, ended his life, in a depths of despair because he felt no one, was listening to him at all. Which is, as we know from the Alan Chapman talk,
surely,
all of these things.
Yeah, but surely it's come to a thing now where there are enough people out there that have understood him properly. Because I think a lot of it doesn't a lot of it come down to the guy who took over Jung's kind of estate or whatever after he died. He made a lot of fuck up.
Is that
yeah, I think that's his name.
Yeah. He would be seen as a kind of turn, in the Magia sense, turn everything upside down. That everything became the shadow of itself. But I don't know enough about James Hillman to have an opinion of that.
I'm only saying what I heard.
I know, but it's like I have 10 audiobooks of him in my Audible. I have yet to think. I was listening to Richard Smalley. You like him, don't you?
Yeah, Smalley.
I was listening to his one on Gnosticism recently. It was really good. I really enjoyed it.
He's really good. He reminds me of Anton Wilson, the way he talks and speaks. Now, he's not. He doesn't connect things as tangentially as Robert Anton Wilson, but I find him quite similar. I really like him. I think his books are audiobooks. That's all I listen to, but I think they're great. Absolutely brilliant, fascinating.
Yeah, the only one about this one, it was really good, but he didn't narrate it, which was I don't mind the authors who can't read, but he can, because he does some of his
He has a lot of stuff on the Theosophy. It's a Theosophy USA YouTube channel. He gives a lot of lectures to them, so he has a good few stuff on them.
There is that other channel that I sent you before. It's like the men's, manly men.
Yeah, he's on that as well, isn't he?
Yeah. Some of the other ones that I'm just going, I getting into creepy waters here. I'm hip deep into weirdness. I was like the other day. I was looking at the.
You find yourself listening to Jocko Wilson and the Weinstein brothers, and you're like, oh no, am I becoming a fucking incel? Am I an incel now? I need to have sex. No, if I have sex, then I'm not an incel. Okay, I'm gonna have sex. Wife.
She goes, no, damn it.
I am an incel. No.
After reading
Before, let me stop you. What's your opinion of the Weinsteins? I think they're fuckwits.
I don't know who they are, so that's my opinion of them.
Okay, there's these guys who are like at the forefront of the intellectual dark web. I think they're more
Weinstein. Who's on?
Yeah. Not Harvey Weinstein.
No, and his wife as well. Is that who you're on about? Them two, that, or is it someone else?
Is there a wife involved as well?
She was definitely on a Joe Rogan one. I think my memory serves me correct. Yeah. He seemed all right, but he seemed like I would put him in the same kind of that dark intellectual web kind of people. That kind of dangerous territory that they all hang out with, which is kind of they can go from the different kind of podcasts, which some of them are a bit like super conservative, like in the the wrong sense of that, like Chowder Report, that kind of stuff. And then then next week it's Ben Shapiro, and then he's on Joe Rogan, or and I just kind of go, I don't know enough about the political landscape to have an opinion on any of it, and I just I know less now. It's just my brain is just absolutely.
No, I think that look for me. Okay, I said they're not fuckwits. They're obviously very smart, intellectual, academic people, but I think they're just too focused on the doom porn and how bad everything is, and it's going to get worse. And it's just like, lads, You're a fucking college lecturer. Shut the fuck up. You don't know anything about real life. You know what I mean? You talk to teenagers all day and they listen to you. Shut up. You know, just I don't
I
care.
definitely,
Come here,
definitely
this fella.
Sorry, go on.
Because I've come across this fella lately. Can you read that? Thomas Berry. Thomas Berry. He's another academic, and he has this book I'm reading called The Great Work, which doesn't have anything to do with the great work that me and you are trying to do.
Right.
But it's about humanity's place on the planet and how we've really screwed it up. But we still have a chance to save it all if we... There's a great bit I'm reading at the minute, and it's kind of saying that we need this kind of quasi-religious, not enlightenment or epiphany, where that, like, we need to fucking, we need to worship the earth because it's given us everything we have, and we've been horrible to it. And we need to turn around and say, you know what, we are here because of you. Thank you. Okay, we're not going to be bad anymore. We promise, and we promise to live within our kind of confines. So it's like, okay, we're not going to dig down 5 kilometers to find coal anymore. We're going to use solar, for example, and stuff. You know, and it's like, it's great. Like, it's really inspiring, but it's at the same time, it's like, I don't know how you're going to convince everyone of this, man. I don't know how you're going to convince big governments of this, like, and the corpos, but, you know, it's worth a try. No, it's good. I should read more. But apparently he was a Catholic priest.
He has that kind of name, Father Barry. Either that or he solved murders in a small coastal village.
In a small Welsh town. Why do people keep dying here?
Yeah.
Yeah, I cut you off a million times there. What were you going to say?
Oh, which time? There was an interesting one about the Carl Jung thing, because after the PDF I was reading it, I got onto YouTube, and I'm just about talking about getting into murky waters very quickly. So just put it in, and it's just a couple of videos come up. There's not that many. One is a guy who's been spending a long time in it, and it just kind of go, I just found this, and it just makes me feel terrible. And I was talking to my psychologist, and I just, it's really all the stuff I've got out of the last year of therapy. I just feel it's all been wasted because it's all a lie, blah, blah, blah. And I was going, all right, that's happy. And then I was watching another one, and then it was this kind of, getting in it, and I'm going, all right, okay, yeah, just watching away. And I go, hold on, I'm watching a Nazi YouTube video. And I'm like, oh no, white supremacist video. Here I am. I'm watching it. It was just, Carl Jung. And then it was like, yes, the Germanic people, and it's like, the Aryan race and the Aryan. I was like, oh no, that's going to happen. You just go, you're just walking into this river. Ha ha ha. Oh right, I'll have a little bit of Carl Jung. Now I'm a Nazi. How did that happen?
Your algorithm is fucked now. You know that. Honest man, I've only ever listened to one jazz song on Spotify, and now every Discover Weekly is full of fucking jazz shit. Right. And I'm just like, oh, I hate this crap. It's just annoying. And it's like Lisa Simpson. Yeah, but it's the notes they're not playing. But
from my impression of jazz is they're not playing. There's no notes they're not playing. They're playing all the time. I like some jazz. Some of it I just don't understand. That's the thing. But it's interesting that the YouTube algorithm is that it seems to be device specific, because my wee man, has Paw Patrol. I watch that on my phone all the time, and he'll get loads of recommendations on my phone for Paw Patrol. I never get recommended on the same account on my desktop Paw Patrol ever. Yeah, so there's obviously the factored something like that in. But yeah, it's I suppose we should talk about the Star Ruby stuff.
Hey, we didn't mention Joe Biden. Joe Biden's from Wexford. You know this? And Loud and Mayo. He's totally Irish. Yeah. He's like the first Irish Catholic president since JFK. And do you know who? Since
Obama.
I say it like it's a good thing, don't I? He's what's it called? He's like political hero growing up, and he has essays about this with fucking Wolf Tone. Isn't that mad?
Yeah. I've seen some photos of him from when he was young. He's a good looking dude. Like, it's hard to kind of he just looks like an old man now because he is an old man.
Oh, you left out creepy. He smells teenage girls' hairs.
Like, I've such a weird relationship. I've a meme relationship.
Teenage girls.
Yeah, in that my first kind of introduction to him was all those really funny Obama Joe Biden memes, or
Yeah.
which is funny, and then Obama would be hand to face, that thing. No, funny, and like, because I try to avoid all that stuff, that the realness of it as much as possible. That it just, that's, there he is, just kind of. I knew it was a joke. I didn't think it was that, he was actually probably that funny, any of that kind of thing. And then the next one, of course, was the hair sniffing and the really creepiness of that. And then it's kind of, now I don't know what to make of him, because it's kind of, you're going, well, he has to be better than Trump, doesn't he? What I mean? Like, doesn't he? I have no idea. Or then you hear the thing, well, he's probably only going to be in power for, so. The first 2 years of the presidency is when you actually do something, and then the second 2 years is you're working towards your second term. So kind of the latest conspiracy, man, is that he will actually either die or bow out before the first 2 years, so that she can become the president, and then work into the second, the next 4 years. I don't know. Like, presidents are old. Like, he's 77. Like, but what age was Bernie Sanders? He's probably in his 70s too, is he?
Yeah, Sanders is old as well, sure, yeah.
But it is weird that in the great nation that is the United States, that these are the two people that you were allowed to vote for as, the bastions of democracy. And, I don't know. It's I think had Trump, not being on Twitter, I'd say Trump would be in power still. Like, I think he lost it rather than
Yeah, I think he did lose it. Yeah, but sure, like, I don't know. It's a weird one because, like, I was watching it's a mad thing to see people who were like out celebrating and dancing on the streets and all this kind of stuff. It's brilliant. Like, I'm just like, wow, this is what a great day it must have been over there.
It is. It wouldn't have been better if it was more a unifying thing than what's that German word of the Schadenfreude, where you relish it.
Schadenfreude. Yeah. Schadenfreude. Yeah.
Which and I mean, like, it'll be interesting because the first thing like we're going, I predict in my knowing nothing about this is we're going back to war, because that's at least with Trump there was no war for 4 years, and you had COVID and all that kind of stuff, and it's like, where's that massive war on terrorism? Where's all the terrorism gone? I'll predict in my cynic ways that it'll be back at war. Back to, I'd say that'll be back on, especially now that they've.
Yeah, so there's loads of doom porn about the fucking Chinese-American war coming, but like, if that comes, it's going to happen over the Pacific, so it's going to have nothing to do with us. So yeah, whatever. Sorry, America and China, but I'm being stoic here about it. I can't do anything. If any Americans want to run away and stay with me, cool, you're welcome. Yeah. Right? As long as I know you first, not just some.
Sorry.
Yanks on Discord who want to leg it over to Europe, you can come stay in my garage, no problem, or attic, whichever. I'm happy.
Yeah, I was looking at there was someone was asking me, Americans moving to Ireland, because it was at some point there was obviously concern that maybe they need to get out of the country if it goes sour. And for anyone who wants to know, you can come to Ireland and you can stay here on the condition that you're rich. That's essentially the rules of how Americans can come and stay in Ireland. If you're not rich, no chance. That's it.
There's one here. If you look into your history and you find that there's like any Polish Jews that were kicked out during World War II, you're entitled to the land that was theirs.
All right.
Prior to World War II, I know a fellow who inherited a whole fucking hotel because of it.
Right.
He traced back his stuff. Yeah, an American fella. He traced back his stuff. Had to go to Amsterdam, found snippets there, and found out that he had property in a really nice part of Krakow. Right. Came over to Krakow, went, yeah, this is my land. Get the fuck out. And they had to leave. And now he has a hotel. Fair play to him.
I mean, because I can see both sides. Like, I mean, obviously, yeah, if someone steals something from me, it should be given back and all that. But at the same time, the person who built the hotel is not their fault either. So, I mean, it seems slightly unfair. I don't know what the answer to that is. Like, I mean, is there an answer?
Yeah, I know. There's not an answer. Well, the only answer is that
stop stealing land in the first place and have.
Yeah, but you see, the thing is, there's the added fact of that after World War II, the communists really fucked over the Jews who did survive. The Jews who came back to it is like, yeah, look, you can either fuck off to Israel or fuck off to America because you're not staying here. That was it, like, because they were kind of seeing as that it's your fault that the war started and we don't want another one, so piss off. You know, so the Poles have to the Poles have to be sorry to them for that treatment.
Right.
You know.
Fair.
So yeah, it's mad. Even the house that I'm working on that I showed you photos of, that was a Jewish pub. So it was.
All right.
You don't hear many of them, do you? That was a Jewish
Oh.
pub 200 years ago. And then it was a school, and now it's a house, and it will be kind of lodging, stable houses. Anyway. Yeah. You want to do this? What were we saying? Star Ruby stuff. Are you still doing it? I haven't had a chance, man.
I stopped after the 30 days, and last week I kind of took a break of everything because I needed a break. I could do it another 6 years of a break, to be quite honest. I felt after the first week I go, right, now I can probably start to begin to rest. Rather than feel rest. Oh man, I'm so burnt out. But so I didn't do it, but I started back doing it the last couple of days. But my intention of it is different. I'm kind of have a different kind of approach to it in the kind of rather than kind of doing it to see what happens, I'm doing it with more intention of actually trying to get rid of some stuff. So it seems more powerful that way. By that I mean mentally. That's the best way. And emotionally, it feels like I'm doing something rather than a ritual happening.
Yeah, I get you. I think with these banishing stuff, I think it is better to have an intent and say, right, today I'm going to invoke something, or I'm going to do a divination. Go away everything. I honestly think that this stuff is all just about clearing the space, probably mentally, maybe physically or whatever.
Let's get back to the Alan Chapman podcast. But it's like Alan says, it's like it's about why do you say this? I don't know what he says, but it's like banishing. It's like keep good hygiene. Hoover your fucking floors. And that's me saying, but like it's along the same lines of it's like you clean your space. You on a physical level, you should all clean your space on a whatever emotional, spiritual, whatever kind of level. So I kind of like that idea, and I know that is the general approach to it, but I'm not convinced of it in a magical thing. In the way people say, oh, we need a lesser banishing ritual of the pentagram, it lights you up in the astral plane and all that. I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm saying I've no evidence for that, and I've no experience of that. So it's that wouldn't be a reason why I would do it. I think the mental, intentional, get the fuck away from me kind of sensation that you get. The kind of, it's more in line with, I suppose, a Levain satanic psychodrama, the decompression chamber element of ritual that I am kind of approaching doing the Star Ruby from there, in the sense of that Apple Pontus Cacademos bit that you think
I love that
tremendously.
That's hilarious.
But see, like visualizing to the point of that, like as you do it, as if there's like not like a nuclear explosion where there's a mushroom cloud, but like that kind of thing where it pushes like a big circle, pushes out.
Yeah.
But seeing everything, sonic boom, that's exactly what it is, and seeing everything being pushed away, and same with the pentagrams, like literally pushing, but seeing what I want to be pushed away. It's like that kind of thing. I find that more helpful than hoping that saying the word Therion is going to actually have any effect. But and maybe it does, but I'm not relying on it. That's
yeah. So this is the whole reason that I changed the names of it, because it wasn't just okay. Like I was having great success with the meditation by using those words anyway, but I just thought, look, for me, I do need to change these things. But it's like, it's like I said to you, it's like with driving a car. It's like when you get into someone else's car, you're like, shit, I need to change the mirrors, I need to change that mirror, I need to move the seat. Just you need to be comfortable in what you're doing. So that's why it works for me. The last block explained what I did at the end of it by replacing the last kind of prayer of it with two prayers that I have, which I think fit really well. One is the Master of the Temple from Tolima, and the other is a modern translation from Aramaic to English of the Jesus Our Father prayer, which is really mystical. Did you read it? It's magic.
I've read it before. I didn't read it again, but because I remember reading before and thinking, oh, that is cool, and I must go back. So when I seen you put it, I was going, oh, I must get to that. But I was in I'm not doing anything this week. Stop trying to do anything.
It's like
come back. I still managed to do it. last week as well, like an idiot.
I know you're not a big fan of Tolkien, but Tolkien's Silmarillion book, I think that's how you pronounce it. It's all about it's like the Bible of Lord of the Rings, what the creation myth and all this stuff. And it's like, it started with a song, and the angels would sing and whatever. In the end, the elves came about. But it's this translation of the Our Father from Aramaic starts with something like that. It's like, "Oh, you Father, the giver of the secret song." It's like, and there's more stuff like that. It's really mystical. Like, it's very different than the Our Father we used to say in Mass. Like, you know,
the Bhagavad Gita, the Hindu Krishna thing. That's the song of God. That's what that translates as. So.
Right. Yeah.
I suppose you could kind of say it. In the beginning was the Word, which is a weird translation of the word logos. But rock that up and go. Was the song.
yeah, I like that one. That'll be good. No, it's cool. It was working for me. Look, I haven't, because I had to leg it out of where we're living to come down here and help again. But like, I'm working even more now, because I'm doing 30, 40 hours on a building site, and then I do my football writing and all that kind of stuff as well. So like, I can't be doing star rubies with the young lads around and all that, because they'll be knocking on the door. What the fuck is this fella doing? You know what I mean? And I'm just talking to. No, I can't explain that. And
you get any meditation done though? Are you able to do anything?
Very little, to be honest. Now, very, very little. A bit at night time. That's all, and only when I'm going to bed. And I'll try and do it for 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to go to sleep anyway. You know. Yeah. So unfortunately, not a lot. But it's just the way it is. You know what I mean? Like, I'm still more than happy to help out the father-in-law with the work, sure. So. It's fine, you know what I mean? There's no stress down here at all. You'd never know there was a pandemic, other than people wearing face masks in shops. On the streets, people don't even bother. I'm in a village of 190 people. The nearest police is 20 minutes away. You know, nice. Fine.
Yeah, you wouldn't know there was a pandemic here either, because every shop in the world is open. I don't know. It's a very, very odd country that I live in. It's like we said we're going into another lockdown, and everyone went, "Yeah, but we're not, are we?" Oh, no, we are. Nah, I don't think we are. Everyone's wearing masks, and that's it. But I mean, like, I think the rule is if you sell any sort of food or any sort of cleaning product, then you can stay open. Harvey Norman's, which is a furniture store, is open.
Chairs are essential, you know.
Do they sell some sort of upholstery cleaning products? I'm sure they do.
Yeah, the rules are very dense.
In one sense, it's from an economical point of view, great. We're going to be in better position than, say, the UK. Essentially, not doom porn. I read a headline that suggested that seemed right, but
not doom porn when it's shouting Friday.
But it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, our cases, I think 500-600 a day we're at now, which is comparatively, like, we've only 4 million of us. So I mean, I think, what is it? One in every 80 people in Ireland have it, or will have it, or something. But anyway, should have the cure for it now. So it's grand. 90%.
Yeah, Pfizer. Man, I wonder, are they going to have any fucking side effects like the last fucking thing they invented?
Well, they have 2 months. You've had 2 months. They haven't got out of the sort of people who had it. Have had it within the last 2 months, so that you have to wait 2 months to see if the third ear or whatever it is. You can see. I
read the headline, and I was like, every single man on the planet is going to be happy with this vaccine, because if it doesn't work, you're going to have a raging erection for about 2 months after.
Most vaccines are only 50 to 60% effective, and that's good enough for a vaccine. So this being 90 means that way less of us have to actually take it, which is a good thing, because way less of us are going to take it. Like, it's going by, the zeitgeist.
For sure, look, I mean, people our age are well down the pecking order anyway, because it's going to be all these people first. And then it'll be old people, then it'll be babies. We'll be the last, like. Yeah. And
by then there'll be something else that's going to be killing us anyway. The mink holocaust that's happening in Denmark at the minute. Cluster 5.
Hey,
I do not watch the news or anything, and yet I know how I know all this, because I'm on Reddit too much. That's how I know all
and I put the thing on Discord that we should start a conspiracy theory. That's why the Polish government wanted to ban mink farming, because they knew this was coming. Ooh,
I know.
There's fuckers, man. There's fuckers. You were talking to me about the abortion stuff a while ago, and they're such fuckers because they try and put in these animal rights things first. They will ban mink farming.
Poland thing, is it?
In Poland, yeah, and they wanted to do this thing where they would ban. They still have it in a lot of people in the countryside. They keep their dogs on chains in the garden. You know, long, not fucking 30 centimeters or anything, but like, you know, and so they were going to bring this in, and all the country people were like, "What the fuck? These aren't pets. These are our guard dogs, and they're bears and wolves and shit, like, you know." And so they made a thing. It has to be 10 or 50 meters, or whatever, which is long enough. But they bring in these animal rights thing first, and everyone's like, "Oh, aren't they lovely? They're such a nice party." And they're like, "Yeah, no abortions for anybody in any case."
Yeah.
First it give it, then take it away. They're such fuckers, man. So they are. And everyone loves them down here. The father-in-law was going mad here about them, so it was. So it was. And Aga was like, "Oh, God, how do I keep my patience with this?" But you just have to be. Whatever. There's no point falling out with people over their political views because it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? There's more.
I mean, there's huge points in doing it in certain circumstances. No point doing it
at the
dinner table with your ma.
Of course.
You know,
no. Obviously, it is important and all that. But like, you know, there's more to people than just their political views because they'll change. I mean, Jesus Christ, when I was growing up in rural Ireland, it would have been all this kind of stuff. It's the way we're brought up. I went to school. I was taught by fucking priests. Do you know what I mean? This propaganda is put in your head.
The thing we all have to remember is that every person thinks the same way I do about the world. Like, they think different things, but they think they're right in that they're doing the right thing. That they're that they're morally good. Like, they're, I'm sure. Invoking the name that ends the conversation. I'm sure Hitler thought he was morally good doing the right thing. So, it's like, which wasn't, obviously. I always feel like I have to give a 6-paragraph once I'm Nazi. I don't know anything he said. All those
I only watch Nazi videos. I mentioned Hitler in every podcast.
YouTube might think I'm a Nazi, but that's the ultimate thing.
I'm growing a pencil mustache.
Yeah. I got this Mein Kampf book. I don't know. Have you ever read it? But like, I'm going to stop invoking his name because it makes me sweat. It's just the end of my career. I just mentioned it. But say someone who's like this. I don't know what I am. I assume I'm some sort of liberal, right? I assume. I'm not really sure how that breaks.
I presume so, yeah.
Yeah. Staunch conservative or whatever. Still think they're doing the right thing, and it's hard to sometimes. It's hard to remember that, that it's like they're still like that's not to say that when someone say being racist or homophobic that they're that it's okay, but it's that thing that you like when you're brought up by priests and everyone telling you that gay people are evil or whatever. If you've never sat down and thought about yourself, or you've never been exposed to gay, you've never been someone or whatever, it's very hard. If you lack the experience, the experiential thing of actually thing, it's very hard. And I am sure my point at all is I'm sure I have
Tommie, dig up, Tommie, dig up.
Yeah. I'm sure I have many things that I equally have blind spots for that I'm surrounded by pendulums. There's definitely, I've said millions of times, if an alien came down to this planet, there's probably a million things that would go, you believe that, or you can't see that. There's a huge elephant in O'Connell Street, a huge one, made of plastic or whatever it is, and none of you see it. You just walk around, it's not there. Money's definitely one of them. Societal, cultural stuff, fashion, language is probably a huge one. The words that we don't ever say or we don't have words for, things like that. It's probably madness. But the pendulum stuff, it's ridiculous. Because we can't see them. Once you're in them, you can't see them, and you will defend them. And it's good when you start seeing your pendulums because you'll stop defending them. And it's easy to see that in a family dynamic when you go, well, I don't believe what my dad does, so I'm separating myself from this pendulum. And the more you do, but I'm sure there's a million we have no idea that we're in. I hope not.
You're right. So look, look, man, the old me would have been fucking having things on Facebook every day about fucking abortion rights in Poland and all this. And now I'm just like, you know what? I don't have a dog in the fight. I'm not a woman, I don't have any liberty to tell any woman what to do with her body. So, and to be honest, like my own personal thing on abortion is just that, like, well, I don't actually think they should be allowed if it's just for because you don't want the baby. Tough shit. You know, okay, if there's something wrong with the baby, yeah, obviously, of course. I mean, no one wants to give a terrible life to something, but like, I'm not a woman. I'm not a woman. So I don't have any right to even, I have a right to an opinion, but I have no right, from my opinion, to tell anyone.
I think when it comes down to any of these things, my approach is that I tend, if you know, when I'm going to vote on these things, you know, when I'm actually just, you know, not just having a conversation about it, I will vote for whichever gives the freedom to the individual to make the decision themselves, whatever it is, you know, which, you know, it's the abortion one is tough. Like, say divorce, that's easy. Just let people fucking get on with it. You know, who hate each other, no, because you know you have the kind of the extra thing of, well, there's another person's is you know, another person is the debate. But I would just I did vote for abortion in Ireland. But it's because of that. I don't know the answer. I do not have the answers. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. So I'm going to let it, you know, as much as possible, let the people who are in the situation decide for themselves. Because I'm no moral, you know, great, you know, judge, or I don't have, like, you know,
fucking Hitler head on you.
I know, yeah, like, look at me, look what I watch on YouTube. Don't be asking me about you know. But see, these big, great moral questions over time, Tommy, come into the room, you have to make a decision. Abortion, I don't know, I was just watching Carl Jung and I'm a racist. Oh, don't listen to me.
Oh, brilliant. I wonder, is there anyone else like Carl Jung that we should be watching? I wonder, because Freud is just like Freud. Everyone ignores Freud because it's just like, nah, you're just obsessed with the cock. Like,
well, I think that, I remember Stephen Fry, of all people, talking about this. This is the problem with Freud, is that everything that he came up with seems so, that we agree with now, seems so self-explanatory and obvious, and the bits that, you know, all the mad sex obsessed stuff that we disagree with seems so, that all things that he's added have become so ubiquitous or so ingrained in us that we don't see it as being that big of a leap or a jump, you know. So it's hard to give him credit because it's just, you know, everyone goes, well, but of course, yeah, but we didn't know that. You know,
yeah, we didn't know that 100 years ago. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. No. I wonder, because,
but it's also like, if you know, like Manchester, you can't listen to anything Liverpool says, you know, that Carl Jung, Freud football team.
Yeah. No, it's just, I mean, what I know about Carl Jung so far, I do like, but I think there's a kind of temptation. Well, I suppose with a lot of occulty type of stuff, and I suppose is he really an occultist? I suppose he's an academic. Is that I think he can get a little kind of sucked too deep into it, and you can kind of become, you know, Team Carl Jung rather than keeping an objective kind of eye on it and being critical. Not just being critical, but just rather trying to learn.
Him doing that, like, you know, I think that's kind of, excuse me, I think a lot of that is from talking around Carl Jung rather than what Carl Jung himself. You know, I think that be our kind of our societal impression of what he is, or our culture impression of him. You know, that we kind of, architects. Actually, is a bit architect because it's.
No, because he only had 12 or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think it was 5 at the beginning or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
But there's like loads of stuff. It's like, collective unconscious. Yeah, not exactly what you think either, you know. And it's kind of, we have these memes, kind of, you know, and synchronicity. That's a prime example of them, because, you know, synchronicity.
Yeah.
That the big example of, you know, where he's doing the therapy with your woman, and she kept going, the beetle, the scarab, blah blah, dreams. She goes, and then he goes, you know, opens the window, pulls out the scarab, goes, there you go, that's it, you know, and he's going, there's your synchronicity. He dismissed it. You know what I mean? It was just going like, yeah, these things happen. You know, stop being obsessed. You know, but the synchronicity is the personally meaningful coincidence with it's you know, it's a subjective thing. Which we've kind of in the same way that we mess up karma, I think we mess up synchronicity. There's a similar type of wrong reading of what it is. But I'm still reading Answer to Job, and it's not even that long of a book, but I'm back to reading like 708 books at the same time. So, you know, I get a chapter of each. It's insanely good, though. It's like, it's one of those books where you're kind of reading and you go, right, okay, well, let's see where this is going. And you go, all right, I have never thought of that. It's like, I was watching a Jordan Peterson video the other day, and he's talking about Carl Jung. He's actually talking about the book Ion, and he goes, he's so far ahead that you'll be reading it, and he'll come up with some sort of thing out of nowhere going, and you go, I would never think of that, and then he supplies the solution, and you go, what? It's just so far ahead. But the whole thing of the approach to the God of the Old Testament going into the New Testament, and even if I don't know how relevant it would be to people who probably weren't brought up Christian or don't have an interest in it, but I've never seen it in the way he explained it. And when he explains it, you go, that's what it is. There's no question of it. It's and maybe if you read the next book that kind of rebutted it, you might have a different opinion. But going through it, it's just the connections made and the understanding that he has of it. I would never get out. There's a Grant Morrison interview with Kevin Smith, and he's talking about the Frank Miller Batman books.
Batman,
Dark Knight Returns, and he understands those books, and I understand them now because he explained it to me, but in a way that I would never have got to. You know what I mean? Like the imagery, the what's going on, what this represents and all that. I've read them probably as much as Grant Morrison or anyone has, like over the years, whatever, quite a number of them, and I would never have got there with that. And once it's explained, you can't not see it because it's obvious.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't even know if Frank Miller knows it's in it. That kind of. But it's kind of like that. It's just kind of revelationary thing of going like, you can't unsee. I will never think of Job, and then the relation to why Jesus exists. The same as I ever did. Whereas that Job story just seems like God's that C word that you're not allowed to say on YouTube anymore because it's what the top 3 worst words. It and Karen. Jehovah, whatever. Without getting into the kind of Gnostic thing, obviously demiurge, whatever. From a strict kind of Christian thing of God, the angry man, that kind of thing. Whereas it kind of he has his own. It turns out hero's journey that he goes on, that the arc starts in a sense, I suppose, from the Job. Yeah. I highly recommend it. Unless you get the end of the last pages, yes, the Jews are all useless, and
No, I think I'll start with. I think I'll start with Man and His Symbols. That's whenever I do get home, I have a list of books to buy. I'll get Man and His Symbols, and I'll get the Book of Job as well. But I'll read the symbol stuff first because I'm doing a lot of looking into dreams and all, and trying to find, like, remember when B-Not did a fucking thing with me about my dreams, because they were just like, I would just look at the surface level of a dream and say, well, what's going on here? But like, he was like, no man, fucking get down into the symbols and just drive into it. So I like Man and the Symbols as well. But even like, I know a lot of other stuff, but from reading reading and watching lots of Joe Campbell, you'd get some of that stuff. And that book that I'm listening to at the minute, History of Consciousness, that's fucking brilliant.
Eric Neumann, that's insane, isn't it? Like that
amazing book.
You could spend the rest of your life reading that book instantly.
Yeah. You wouldn't fully get it, like, but yeah, it needs more than it's amazing how no matter kind of what happens in your life, there's a story to it in mythology somewhere that relates to you and to how you can best come out of it. It's all there. Like, the only thing is that we don't really know our mythologies anymore. Like, I'm lucky that I went to a school where Celtic mythology was taught to me, but like in a lot of schools in Ireland, it's not taught.
It wasn't taught to us. No, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
1 year, I think, like for a week, got read out of a book about the town of Julia. Whatever it was, that's it.
Yeah. No, I'm lucky, like, but I'm talking primary school. This wasn't like heavy stuff or anything. We were told these stories, like, and so I'm lucky. I remember, and we did some Greek stuff as well. But like the Roman legends, I don't really know at all, even though they are stolen from Greece. All right, like the Greek stuff, I wouldn't be
exactly incorporated, I think is
okay, yeah. But like, I wouldn't know the Greek stuff nearly as well at all.
No, I don't either. I mean, I know the obvious ones. It's like I know the singles, but I don't know the albums.
Yeah.
The singles. I'm listening to that, The Darkening Age, that one. That remember David, our friend David Halpin of Occult Book Review.
Yeah.
Finally got round to it because Alan Chapman recommended it as well. It's really good. I was expecting a kind of a heavy academic kind of a thing, but it is that, but it's very approachable and very it's an easy thing to read rather than, like in the way Eric Neumann's book is not an easy,
it's not easy.
This is easy, but still has the same level. No, it doesn't have the same level. It still has a high level of academia to it and research and scholarship, and you are learning the things. It's just it's more a bit like Eric Neumann's book is a bit like, when you go to college and here's your textbook, learn this, there's a test at the end. Whereas this one is more like, here's a really, really good 6-part documentary on telly.
Right.
Take notes if you want, kind of a thing. It's really good, and it just kind of explains just how much our history has been erased, like completely, to the fact that we have no idea what history is. We've 1% of pre-Christian literature exists, or something equally.
That's shocking, isn't it?
Yeah.
I was thinking that there's got to be, because what we know about Celtic mythology, a lot of it comes from what was written down by the early Christians in Ireland, and they were bankrolled a bit like the Medicis did in Italy with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. No, but seriously, there was a couple of big landowners in the west of Ireland, and they're like, look, we'll pay for your monastery and we'll build you the monastery, and yada yada yada, and you can come live here on my property and all that. But the deal is, you need to chronicle Irish history. So the debate is like, how much did they Christianize it, the mythology stuff, and how much did they leave as they were getting? So we're never going to know that. But there's part of me is kind of like,
they definitely Christianize it to a high.
Oh, did they Christianize it? But we'll never know. No, we'll never know exactly how much though. That's the thing, But there's this thing that paganism really came back into Europe around the Middle Ages, and it's not something that's kind of known about, and it's largely thanks to the Irish saints. That's just why we're known as the land of saints and scholars, because they went into Europe. There's schools I think there's 5 or 6 universities in Spain that were founded by Irish monks and priests and stuff. They went as far as Prague, I believe.
Yeah, sorry about that, Europe.
Yeah, sorry, Europe. We apologize.
Sorry, Europe.
But there's gotta be some hidden book somewhere that has more fucking.
Oh well, I mean that's it. Like the Dead Sea
you know?
Scrolls things, as if they're waiting for the right time to emerge.
Oh, yeah, sure. These what are they called? The Naga something Gnostic books. You found 40 years ago, 50 years ago. Now, right?
And the guy who found them, his mum burnt 2 of them to light the fire that evening. Oh man, the secret words, the real truth, the secret of the universe. Yeah, just get that'll cook the spuds. Whatever. But yeah, it's like that. As if they're in the Darkening Age, to talk about this other book, and I'm not going to remember the name of it, but it was the same, that every book of this guy was destroyed other than this one book, and it was found in some mad place somewhere anyway, and it came back in later, but it became so hugely influential and all this kind of thing that it was as if it was just waiting there for the right moment to go, ha ha ha.
Yeah.
No, and so there probably is. I would hope that there's, what did they say? That there's the secret library between the paws of the Sphinx and all that. That's a guy we should look into. Edward Casey. He's an interesting kind of a dude. Have you come across his name?
No.
Yeah, he's the sleeping saint, not saint, perhaps it's not the thing, but he was a mystic medium, kind of a modern day Nostradamus in that he prophesied, but he also was a healer. But he went into he had all these visions, and debatable, but a lot of them came true and stuff. But he said it was the secret library in below the Sphinx and stuff like that. So I'd say you'd find him interesting, very woo, but another name that comes.
Look, I think I'm well on board by now, Tommie.
I'd love you to read
who was it? Someone. Who was it? Dominic on Discord put up the thing about the fucking I Ching podcast, and I was like, sure, look, I'll have a listen to it when I'm driving down. Yeah, totally bought the I Ching divination cards and a book. Fuck, I think it's 800 pages or something. I'm like, how am I going to read this book? Fucking hell. You know what? I've been so busy. The 2 packages are still in the back seat of the car, and I got them 2 weeks ago. You know, but like, I'm just, I said all the time, but like, like if I was at home and I was this busy, I'd be annoyed with myself for not reading. But I'm down here and I'm working and helping the father-in-law so much. I'm just happy to help. Like, no, it's mad if you just give over your kind of life to someone and just say, yeah, look, I will help you. Whatever you need doing, I'm going to do it for you. And just everything comes up roses. It's not as much of a retreat as the last time because the young lads and the wife are here. You know what I mean? Like, it is. I'm not saying it's harder, but it's different.
No, you're saying it's harder.
Yeah, it's definitely harder.
It's harder, more stressful, less fun. I don't really want to be here. Can they leave? That's what you said. That's the words committee of it. It would be better it would be much better if they weren't here. That's the exact quote. It's what you said.
Oh, she's an asshole. She's gonna be laughing at this though. No, not at all. Not at all. No. I want them to stay for longer. To be honest, Tommy, like we're even like, God, if we didn't have the house and we just stayed in Katowice for another few years and had the kids there, like we'd just move here now, wouldn't we? We're like, yeah, we totally would. Like, amazing. You know, we're so lucky. You know, fucking wolves, man. Wolves were like a couple of fields away from me the other night. It's fucking mad. Absolutely.
Yeah, I've cows in the field beside me. And
well, there's loads of cows here as well, like, but your cows, like, they're 10 a penny. Although,
no,
yeah.
These domestic cows, these no things. They have to see.
Yeah,
they come up and go, have you read this book? No, I haven't read it. It's needed like children's book. Why are you giving it to me? Oh, the secrets of the universe. Yeah,
more racism, Tommy. More racism. Enid Blyton. She was an awful racist. She was an awful racist. That's what she was. Yeah. God almighty, she was.
Racist. Yeah. All of them. Everybody.
I don't even know much about the I Ching. Do you? Other than Terence McKenna loved it, and the 2 lads on the podcast are so mad about it. Crowley.
It's the sticks thing, isn't it? Like the hexademical thing.
Yeah,
the only thing I really know about it is that Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe, well, he was actually from Cobra, had and Snake Eyes had tattoos of one of them on their arms.
God.
Yeah.
Nerd. No, I only know from this podcast. No, I got, because I was looking up like how to do it with coins, with sticks and all this thing, and I was like, oh God, that sounds like a pain in the arse. And then then this thing popped up as if magically there's divination cards. Like, yep, there you go, buy them, that'll do. Same thing. But yeah, it's the same. It's the way
like you promised you wouldn't.
No, I didn't buy it on Book Depository. No, I think
on Amazon.
No, I bought in Polish Allegro, and I think the book. I think
they're owned by Amazon.
Probably are, that. So whatever. What can you do?
There's a couple of new independent online bookshops opening up. And I went, great, finally someone to do it. But like, twice the price, and the postage is ridiculous. I'm so like, I can't like. I understand.
What's the UK one? Alibris, isn't it? Libris.
Yeah. There's a few come out, but it's just like, you could buy a book on Amazon for 10, or you can pay 35 quid for the exact same book. And you're going, well, I'm not doing that. Please.
No wonder it's awful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I'd give me the equivalent, or even slightly dearer than Amazon, and I'm game. But I like books too much.
Yeah,
I buy loads of books that aren't Amazon. I'm not an exclusive to Amazon. I bought one from the Danish Museum the other day.
I'm struggling with the fucking Peter Kingsley books now because I'm just like, I can't. You know me, I'm tight with money because I have to be. I don't have a lot of money. I live in Poland, like I don't have much money. Frugal. I have to be frugal because it have to be. Everything's like for example, like petrol is the same price in Ireland as in Poland, but we get paid 4 and 5 times less. So you're screwed.
So in your place,
yeah, keep us in our place. Yeah, don't want the Poles getting fucking rowdy with their fucking money. Yeah. And we saw what happened to the Irish when they got money. The city Catholics. They just go fucking nuts. No, but it's
or
just
a master class. What to do when you get rich.
But it's just looking at the price of the book.
I need 6 houses. What's the problem? 6 houses. I need 6 houses.
And 4 in Bulgaria, yeah.
What do you mean no one has any money anymore? What about my 6 houses? Yeah, you've still to pay for them. Damn it.
Damn it, I can't afford these Peter Kingsley books. They're fucking dear, man. You know, it's just
that,
like
his
70 or 80 euros
very
for books.
disappointing. Well, it's only that. Well, the Catafalque one is about 80 quid, but at least it's hardback and stuff. Down there's 2 of them. But that first one, the Magic, what is it called? The Empedocles, the very first one, the Magic Mission. Yeah, it's 50 quid, and it's a print on demand job. Like, it literally costs, I know for a fact, about 8 quid to print it. So he's making 40 quid, or whoever. It's Oxford Press actually published that one. So it's like just uploaders to, Create Space or Amazon or whatever. So you're paying, but I suppose that's it, because it's considered academic book. Aren't you allowed to charge £1 million for academic books just because they're academic? Doesn't that seem to be the rule?
Probably so, yeah.
His other ones, Reality's only like a standard, whatever. No, I think the new hardback one's about 50 quid as well. I don't know.
They're all dear. They're all. I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I mean, there's got to be some occultist has died in a motorbike crash lately. Does his wife not want to sell me those books for like a £5 each? I'll buy them for a £5.
Well, but the new release of Reality's out again. Maybe someone would care to send you the old version of it that they had. I have them all, thank God. I have I've already made the sacrifice to the Kingsley God. So.
No, but there's a thing I kind of have as well as that. Like, okay, so if that book is €50, well, okay, so what's that book about? Okay, so I'll just buy the other 5 books that are about the same thing for less, and I'll know as much. Haha. Maybe
not the case.
Not with Peter Kingsley though. Now it's the case with Kingsley. So yeah, so
I think you can get a story made that pays you for about 16 quid. That's his kind of mid. It's only.
Sure, look, Tommy, I've enough books to keep me until March or April. I'm grand.
And you have all his audios anyway, haven't you? Like, you've still done to go through.
Yeah. So it's grand, Yeah. And yeah, we were supposed to talk about a UFO film, weren't we?
Yeah. Shocking.
Do you want to give people homework?
You can if you want. I'm not going to be such a procrastinating.
We should do it next week. We watched The Phenomenon. It's a 2020 film about UFO cover-ups, conspiracies, etc.
Did you like it?
I did and I didn't. I mostly liked it. I liked it more than I didn't like it. I'll put it that way.
Right. I really enjoyed it the first time, and then I watched it again because I watched it a couple of weeks ago, and then watched it again over the weekend, and I had to watch it in 2 parts because I found it very boring the second time. Just not the boring. I was going like, I can't concentrate.
It's not boring. I think the bad thing about it is I think it throws too many facts at you, and you're just kind of excuse me, it just kind of washes over you because you're like, oh shit, I wasn't paying attention, or have I missed something? Right. Because it just goes, this happened in 1924, this happened in 32, this happened in 37, this happened then, and then it jumps forward to 1990, and then it jumps back, and it's just it's a little bit too much without a kind of story weaved around it,
They needed some sort of narrative of, the way they do it, all those spiritual documentaries of someone walking around town thinking life. UFOs. Oh, Bill Clinton, maybe he had something to do with it. No, done well. I've seen some of his other ones. We won't get too much into it, but he also did that. I Know What I've Seen. There's 2 versions of that.
Yeah.
Good. Like, it
is good. Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it. It's
definitely good because it's about the topic that it says it's about. It's not about the person making the film.
Yeah.
Which you can have in UFO or documentaries.
No, I like.
It's about Bob Lazar or the director. Which documentary is this? The one about the director or the one about Bob Lazar?
Although he appears in it, isn't he? Not him, not the beardy fella. Your man who.
Oh yeah, Franco. You're about Coast to Coast. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name.
Nap, isn't it? Nap.
George Nap.
Yeah. No, we'll talk about it next week. It's good though. It is good. So if anyone wants to watch it, have a watch. It's good.
I know Homo Satanus called it a game changer. He really enjoyed it. A few other people have said it's the best UFO.
Well, it's very
I think if you know nothing about UFOs, it's definitely loads of new information in it.
It's very, very journalistic because it just bombards you with all these cases of similar happenings and then it goes pretty far into the cover up, you know, of that. Like at first, like anyone who knows anything about like Roswell or the earlier one was Sicario, not Sicario. What was it called? It doesn't matter. And they're like, look, the Navy and the Air Force were coming out saying, yeah, we haven't a fucking clue what these things are, but they're everywhere. To like, you know, 2 or 3 years later, just complete shutdown. No.
Yeah, swamp gas.
Nothing. Swamp gas. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah, so you're giving that as homework to people that they have to go and.
Sure, why not?
Well, I'll suggest something for people. You can get it in a number of places, but if you get it on iTunes or Vimeo, there's loads of extra features. I did not get it on either of them, so I don't have the extra features. But supposedly the extra features are actually better than the actual thing. So my loss, I suppose. So if you're going to pay for it, look at that, because I know Amazon Prime itself it doesn't have the extra features, so which is where it came from for me. But on Vimeo, it's like 8 million quid or something. That's something ridiculous, 30 quid or something. I don't know what it is. Which is, I suppose, why then you get the extra features. I don't know what it is in iTunes. Yeah, so that's nearly an hour and a half. But I suppose we haven't talked in a while. It seems like 7 years. It's only been a week.
Yeah, well, I mean, the setup seems to be okay, so we can do one next week anyway. Yeah. You know? No bother. What are you reading? What am I reading?
I'm reading Answer Job. I'm rereading Reality. I am reading. What else am I reading? Look at my shelf. I'm still reading that Tlima book. That's taken a while to get through. The one Spirit, whatever it's called, and something else. I can't remember what the other one is, but I'm sure it's equally fascinating, or else I wouldn't be reading it. You, what were you stuck into?
Just that the Berry book and the Ingram's Buddhism book, and I'm going through that playlist you sent me of Aeon on YouTube.
It's good,
I'm counting that as a book. It's very good. Yeah. A little too short.
A little what?
You know, they're a little too short. You know,
but I think the reason why I think he did that is because the other boys did like an hour and a half for each chapter. Yeah. So it's his is kind of more. That's a channel people should check out. Boyo, Jimmy Boyle's gone. I think split or schism, whatever. He's gone in a very different direction, as we discussed before. The English guy, but the Irish guy, Boyo himself, his last couple of videos have been crackers, absolute crackers. They've been really good.
He's fucking hilarious as well. Like, he's really so funny. Nice lad. Yeah, I'd love to interview him actually. Maybe I will. I'll put the feelers out. Go on, Tommie.
What's his name as well? Aren't you? We were talking on Twitter.
Chat from Twitter. Yeah, because he was all about the HGA and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he'd be good.
That'd be good. Yeah, he would be good.
As well. So that's the crack. That's all the crack of, for Americans. That's all the fun. That's all the news.
I haven't a clue when I'm going to be back home. I really don't know. Like, if there's more restrictions come in and they close the schools, there's no point in going back. But if they don't close the schools, then there's nothing really keeping us here other than it's very nice, and we're all having fun. And
why? What have you to go back to? New life in the open. It's wild Spud. It's like, that picture of the guy with the beard just turning around and smiling. You should reenact that kid.
It's me at the minute, man.
That's Robert Preston. You know that?
Yeah. It's mad, isn't it? It's mad. But it's like, years ago I would have hated doing this work because I was forced to do it. Helping me down, building sites. But now I'm just so happy to go down and be sanding fucking timber or nailing stuff into walls. And it's just like, because I know it's like this is going to help him and his business so much that it's nice to be a part of it. And that, in years to come, I can always just say, yeah, I helped build that. I helped restore 200-year-old. I'm mad. As long as they don't fucking show up.
Yeah, this is actually our land.
Oh no!
It's gonna happen.
Shalom, Shema. What did they say? I don't know any Jewish words at all. Shalom.
Yeah, Huxma. That's the other one I know. I only know any of these from Howard Stern to be Ove.
Oh, vey. Oy vey, that's not Jewish. That's like French, isn't it? Or Italian,
Not
isn't it?
Jewish. Well, Howard Stern says all the time, oy vey.
Oh, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
Anyway.
know.
Right, I'm going to go off and sand some wood.
Right. Bye.
Bye.